Hey guys, so I wanted to do like a mini wrap up for the middle of the month. It's the 16th of May. I have 5 physical copy books that I've read, and I feel like I should talk about them now before I forget about what they're about, and then I have to read it off my Goodreads like I usually do, which is fine, but at least this way I'll be able to give you guys a little bit more of my thoughts on them. So I finally read Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I hope I said her name properly. I hated this book. I was so excited to read it, and it was just so boring. It was just so boring. I knew after the first couple chapters that I probably wasn't going to like it. I did end up pushing myself through it, and I don't really think that that was necessary. I did read a lot of the Goodreads reviews for this book, and a lot of people said that they couldn't figure out who the killer was until the author revealed it and all that. I guessed who it was from the beginning. So, I mean, maybe she didn't hide it very well, or apparently I'm very good at figuring it out. I had it down to 2 people at like 100 pages, and I was right. So, yeah, but I didn't like this book. It's not that it was like super bad or anything. I didn't like how slow it was, and the writing style. It just wasn't for me. So for those of you that don't know about this book, Sophisticated Books had a very opinionated opinion on this book. If you want to laugh, go check out her review. I think it was on one of her unpopular opinions books tag things. She's just really funny. She gets so mad about this book. I mean, I didn't like it either, but I'm not gonna do that. But it was great. It was awesome. But anyway, this book is about this chick. Her dad is really sick, and she has a brother. And she is internshipping for her uncle at the morgue, because she's really into, I don't know the actual word for it, but she's really into like dealing with the dead people that you have to make presentable for the funerals and stuff. She's really into cutting them open and all that stuff. She's learning how to do it. And then mysterious murders start happening. As you know, Jack the Ripper. She's trying to solve it. And yeah, I can't give you too much because then you'll figure out who the murderer is. So if you want to read it, go ahead. I mean, it wasn't a horrible book. I didn't really like it. So, and then I read My Favorite One Night Stand by Christina Lauren. I absolutely loved this book, and this was also the first book that I've ever read by Christina Lauren. And I have more. I actually have her Beautiful series. I do believe that's hers. I'm planning to read that next time I can, and I have the Unhoneymooners coming. I really enjoyed her writing style, and yeah, I can't wait to read my next book by her. I thought she did a great job of the friends to lovers story. So this book is about 4 friends that also work together. sort of. It started off as Millie and Reed. They're the main people in this story. They were best friends, and then his other two friends ended up into their circle. 3 friends? I think there might be 3 of them. I don't know. There's 4 or 5 of them. They're all really great friends. I think there's 5. They're all really great friends. And then one night, Millie and Reed end up sleeping together, and it's about their story. And it was great. I loved it. I devoured it in a couple hours. I couldn't put it down. So, definitely recommend this book. Check it out. And then I read Mr. Control by Maya Hughes. This book is signed by the author. And it was sent to me by Adore Romance. I won it in one of her giveaways that she does. I really enjoyed this book. I am planning to read the next 2 in the series. I think it was a trilogy. This is about I already forgot what this book. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, or 4. 3 or 4 stars. But I really loved this book. I wish I could remember what it was about more. Oh, okay. So, Esme, I believe her name is a waitress. She's not doing very well. She lives with her best friend. And her best friend's boyfriend keeps coming on to her. And one night, she's sleeping on the couch, and she wakes up to her best friend's boyfriend, pleasuring himself in front of her on the couch, or on the chair across from the couch, and she starts yelling at him, and then her friend comes out and believes her boyfriend's story over her best friend's story and kicks her best friend out of the apartment. So then she has nowhere to go. She's a waitress, so she's planning to sleep in like shelters and stuff. But earlier in the story, this guy, what is his name again? I don't remember his name. Yeah, I don't remember his name. But, Rise? I don't know. His wife died? Yeah, she died, and left him alone with their little girl, and one day he takes her to the bank with him because he has to do something, and she runs away and ends up meeting the waitress, and the waitress is trying to find the parents of this child, and she can't, so she has to go back to work, so she takes the kid with her to the restaurant, which is like a block away or something, and he's rich, and he has all of his people looking for this little girl. Finally, they find him, or her, and the waitress has to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and yeah, there's some other stuff going on here, but I don't really know how much I'm allowed to tell you without giving it all away. It was a really great story. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I mean, there was obviously some things that it could have worked on, but I thought it was great. And I think that I might have read the second one, but I don't remember what it's called. Oh yeah, I read them all. Okay, so Mr. Ruin and Mr. Wicked. So yeah, I read them all. They were all really great. I think the second one was my favorite one. But I definitely recommend this series if you wanted to check it out. Like I said, I can't give you guys too much away about it because then I might as well have just told you the whole story. So I'm not gonna do that. But I highly recommend this series, so check it out. And then I also read Meet Cute by Helena Hong. Nope, Helena Hunting. Sorry. So I went into this book knowing that it was more serious rather than a lot of the people that thought it was just going to be a super cute story. There is a serious undertone in it, but I loved it. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It was wonderful. I can't wait to get more books by Helena Hunting. Oh, sorry. But basically this book is about these two that met in college. He used to be a famous actor as like a child, and she was his biggest fan, and they both go to the same law school, end up being in the same class, and then but you only get like, I think it's like 2 or so chapters at the beginning of how they were, like, I mean, you get their story throughout the book, but you only get so much of their meet cute type thing at the beginning when they're in college, and then it turns into where they are now. They're both successful lawyers. He has a daughter? No, he has a sister. His parents end up dying, and he's in a custody battle between, or with their aunt to keep his sister, because his sister wants to stay with him. And so he ends up needing help, and she ends up being the, like, commissioner person. So she is dealing with his sister's trust and trying to make sure that her trust gets into the proper hands for, like, who's going to take care of her. And she's really rooting for him, and it's a great story. I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I would definitely check this one out. And then I literally just finished reading Fight or Flight by Samantha Young. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't bad. I just found it really, really slow. I felt like there could have been, like, there was a lot of fluff in this book. I felt like a lot of it could have been taken out or made a little shorter. Like, I don't think that it needed to be a 361 page book. There was a lot of fluff in it. But basically, this book is about these two people that are trying to get back to Boston, I do believe. Their plane has just been postponed, I think. It's like moved forward or something. And she's trying to get into first class because she's just over everything. She's had a horrible last couple days back at home. So she wants first class. There's only 1 seat left. And he ends up like pushing in front of her and ends up with the last seat. So she's even more mad, and they just like argue the entire time. And then they both end up at this coffee shop in the airport, and it basically happens again. And then the plane is canceled, and until the next day, because there's like a volcano or something. So they both end up going first class to, I think it's Chicago for the night. And then, yeah, they eventually get back to Boston, and it's a cute story. It's a, like, haters to love story thing. It was good. I don't know if I just don't like that trope, or if it just wasn't for me, but I thought there was a lot of fluff in it. So, yeah, but it was still a really great book. Out of all 5 of these ones, technically 7 that I've mentioned, I would definitely recommend these 2 the most. So, yeah, definitely highly recommend these ones. This one more so than this one, but I loved them both. They were both great. I don't think you could have a wrong choice between these two if you decided to get one of them. But yeah, that's what I have read this month so far. I think those are all the books that I've read, or they're just the ones that I have read in physical copies. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.